Hello everyone and welcome. I already own a few different Borescope cameras, but each one has some limitation that can make it uncomfortable to use under certain circumstances. That's why when I came across this Borescope or industrial inspection camera from Teslong, I decided I wanted to give it a try. Teslong is a good company that makes good equipment, and this camera seems to have an easy to use control and a nice big screen attached to the handle. So I wanted to see if this would be more user-friendly than some of the other cameras that I already own. So if you've been looking for an affordable and good quality Borescope camera but didn't know which one to use, then stick around as I unbox and test this guy. Alright guys, so when you unbox this puppy, this is everything you get. So let's talk a little bit about some of the features that this guy has, but before we get started testing this guy, do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. That way you get notified every time I do another product review video, DIY project, or a sale at a big box store where I can help you save more money. Alright then, so this is the dual lens articulating Borescope camera from Teslong, available on Amazon, link in description below. At the time of making this video, this kit retails for $132. The warranty on this guy is 1 year, and the dimensions on this guy are about 10 inches by 5 inches by about 1 inch in thickness. I'm obviously not counting the gooseneck, which is 5 feet long. So what do you get when you unbox this guy? Well, you get the camera itself with everything attached, the gooseneck, the camera, everything all in one unit. You get a nice semi-hard case to keep it all in when you're not using it, nice and protective case. Get the owner's manual, tells you everything about this guy, how to set it up and all that, a USB charging cable, and a couple of attachments for the end of the head, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. So this is a two-way articulating dual lens Borescope or industrial inspection camera that has 70-degree viewing angle and 210-degree articulation. This Borescope has two cameras, a front camera and a side camera for easier swapping of viewing angles. The head on this unit, the little camera head, is only 3/4 of an inch in length and 1/3 of an inch in width, meaning that it's small enough to fit into almost any size space. It only needs 1.25 inches of working space to be able to articulate and give you a full 360-degree view of whatever it is you insert it into. The field of depth on this camera is from 0.6 inches to 4 inches, so it can clearly see anything, even the very close-up items. The front camera has 8 LED beads, and the side camera has 1 LED bead, each with 4 different lighting brightness modes to light up your work area. Both the front and side cameras have 3 different magnification or zoom modes to better see what you're looking at. The camera also has a built-in temperature sensor and a readout telling you the temperature in the inspection area. This helps to prevent damage to the camera. The camera will automatically shut down if the inspection area is too hot. This camera is IP67 waterproof, so you can insert it into all sorts of wet plumbing areas without any concern. The view screen on this camera is already attached, so you don't need to use a cell phone like some other cameras out there. And this screen is 4.5 inches IPS screen with an 854 by 480 full color resolution. The inspection camera or Borescope comes with a 5-foot gooseneck like I already mentioned, and it's semi-rigid but flexible enough to maneuver into all sorts of locations. This camera has a 3000 milliamp hour battery built in, which can last for 5 hours of runtime with continuous use. And it also comes with a 32 gigabyte TF card already inserted. This is a big money saver since you don't need to buy your own TF card. This TF card is big enough to allow you to record up to 50 videos or up to 100,000 images. So this Borescope or industrial inspection camera has a lot of convenient features for doing all sorts of inspections in plumbing, electrical, mechanical, HVAC, or just any sort of small space that you need to get into so you can get a good viewing without having to dismantle it. Great for professionals or DIYers. So let's take a little closer look at this guy, then we'll set it up, do some inspection, and see how it performs. Alright guys, so let's take a little closer look at this Borescope camera from Teslong, or industrial inspection camera, and see how this guy performs. We'll go over some of the features and so forth that it has, and then we'll give you a quick demonstration here on the bench, and then we'll do some testing, real world actual usage of the camera, and see how it performs. Now, like I said before, I have a few of these different cameras, and I've learned from my own mistakes, my own trial and error and so forth, and I've learned some things that are convenient about these cameras and some things that are not convenient. Like I have another camera that the screen is not attached, doesn't come with the screen. You have to use a cell phone. You can't even use a tablet because it has one of those compression fittings to hold it in place, and it only holds certain phones. It doesn't even open up wide enough for some of the bigger phones these days. So that's something I would recommend. Get one of these cameras that has the screen already attached. That way you don't have the issue with that. You don't have to worry about hurting your phone when you're doing an inspection. Some people may not care. I care about my phone. They're not cheap, and you don't want to have to break it, scratch it, and have to buy a new one. This prevents that problem. And it's nice and secure on here, where on the other one, it could fall off. I also have other cameras where the control is not as convenient as this one. Some of the other ones I have like a little knob on the side that you have to rotate. That means that you have to use one hand to hold it and another hand to rotate it. Well, you need a third hand to manipulate the borescope, the actual gooseneck. So that's inconvenient unless you grow another hand. So this is more convenient because you can actually hold this with one hand and then you articulate it side to side, as you can see right there. And you can go any direction that you want quite easily, and then you can use the other hand for manipulating the gooseneck in and out of wherever you're putting it. So that is a big advantage right there. You can do whatever you want and still articulate it. So that comes in very handy. That's something I would definitely tell you to consider when you're looking at one of these cameras. So that's my experience from already using several different cameras and features you should really look for. Now, other things that are very convenient, like I said, a color screen. Some of them are black and white. On this one, these little orange knobs right here, they don't do anything. They're just for you to grip it. This is the little guy that does everything right in the middle. And also, now that I remember, I also have another camera that has a little knob here in the middle, but it's a rotating wheel. And a lot of times your finger can slip off the rotating wheel. This is a nice big knob, as you can see right there. And it's very convenient, and it has a rubber overmold on it, so your finger won't slip, which is convenient when you have dirty, greasy, wet hands. You don't want to have it slip, because on the other one, a lot of times I'd be rotating it, and my finger would just slip off of it, and I'd have to find my spot again, and it's harder when you're fine-tuning whatever you're looking at. Sometimes when you're in a certain space, it can be rather awkward, because you don't want to just wildly do it like I'm doing right now. You want to go slowly so you can see what you're looking at. And with a rotating wheel, it may seem like it's convenient, but actually it's not. I have not found it to be convenient. This is actually a good way to do it using this little joystick right here. So those are things I would say, keep an eye out when you're looking at what camera you want to get. Now, as far as this one goes, like I said, you can see right there, it has a nice color screen, 4.5 inches, very big, very nice to see. All the controls are right here in front of you. There's only one control on the back right here, and that's just quick and easy for you to be able to take pictures, take video, whatever it is that you need to do. So that's very convenient. And also, a long press on this one will switch from front camera to the side camera. And this has a microphone and speaker all right there, so you can actually record with sound as well. So if you record a video, you can also get sound in there if you need to, for whatever reason. Maybe convenient, maybe not, I don't know. It depends on your situation. So this guy right here, there is your power button on/off. There is your memory button, so you can see from your library the different videos or photos that you took. There's your OK button, there's your settings button, your up and down, and you also use this to change the orientation of the screen. So you can either see it right side up, upside down, whatever you need, you can change it on the fly very quickly. And right here is your lighting. As you see that the camera's lit up, and you can change through different lighting. You see right there, different modes of lighting, and you turn it off. Whatever is convenient for you, you can do that. This is the magnification over here, and you can zoom in So you go right there, you can zoom in and do that. So there you go. Those are the different zoom modes. And like I said, change that so it's easier to see what we're looking at. And like this guy right here, very convenient, just rotate through whatever it is that you're doing. There you go. That's easy enough to do. So very nice as far as that goes. Very clear image. You can see the camera. You can see this is semi-rigid. You can maneuver it and do whatever you need to do with whatever it is that you're using. Turn on the little LED so you can see that there. And you see that right there. It's very convenient for you to, stick it into anything and see what you're going to do. I'm actually going to stick this into a motor in a minute, so it makes it easier for us to see how it looks inside of a really dark area with no lighting whatsoever. How does the lighting and the camera focus and adjust inside of a cylinder? And, basically how much detail will it show us, the cross-hatching and all that kind of stuff inside the piston. So we're going to look at that in a moment. That gives you a quick demonstration of how this guy works in here. And then, like I said, this guy is semi-rigid and actually stays where you put it as you're trying to shove it into something that you're trying to look at. And the gooseneck is 5 feet, so it'll go quite far into whatever you're looking at. So that's a real quick summary of this guy, all the different features and everything that it does. Not a bad little camera. It seems to work quite nicely, and I like some of the changes from some of the other cameras that I've used in the past. This one seems to be quite good. So let's do some inspecting and see how this guy performs. And actually, before we go on to doing some inspection and so forth, I wanted to show you this guy. Let me turn off the LED right there to show you, give you a little closer view of this guy. You can see right there, that's the camera lens. That's the front one, and you can see the LED beads on there. I don't know if my camera will focus on it very well because I don't have much of a macro lens on this guy. But you can see that there. And then on the side, you can see this guy over here. See right there, there is the side camera, where you can see the little camera right there and the little LED bead right next to it to light it up. And you can swap between the front or the side very easily, like I said, by just a long press on the record button. So that's for taking images or swapping the camera. So there is your side camera there and your front camera, so you can see clearly how that works. So, and like you see, this guy is so small, it'll literally, let me rotate it back this way. You see how small it is? It literally only needs like 1.25 inches to fit into any location. That is how flexible that guy is right there, where you can see how that guy rotates. So now let's go ahead and go do some inspection. Alright guys, well let's shoot a little video with this camera and see how it performs. Now first of all, I'm going to put the camera into a pipe there, a drain pipe for my laundry room. And you can see that the camera is so small that I don't even have to remove the pipes that are already in place. I'm basically shoving the camera in there around the existing pipes to be able to see what's going on in this plumbing pipe. Now this is basically a drain pipe for your washing machine and so forth. So the exhaust pipe and all that stuff goes in there. And then my air conditioner drip pipe goes in there as well. But if you had a clog or something, you could look down the pipe and see what is going on. And as you go through it, you constantly have to adjust the camera so you stay in the middle of it, because the camera will move from side to side. So you have to adjust it. That's the convenience of having one hand to use the camera and the joystick while you move the camera further into the pipe with your other hand. So that is convenience there. And I'm showing you the zooming effect right there, that you can zoom in to see whatever it is that you want to see if it's far away and you reach the limit of the camera, whatever the case may be. So that's what that looks like when you're putting into a drain pipe and you see all the disgustingness going on there. And then just to pull it out, there you go, it's coming back out, and you see how easy that was. No problem with that at all. Now let's try something a little different. Let's put it inside of a motor. And in this case, we're going into the motor of my lawnmower, and this is a flathead motor. So the piston is on one side and the valves are on the other. This is not like your basic car motor where the piston is right below the valves. So on the flathead, you see the valves there, and I basically have to change the camera, kind of move it to go to the side so I can put it further in there to put it to where the piston is, because the spark plug hole is right in the middle between all the different things there. And as you can see, this lawnmower, I've had it for about 24, 25 years, something like that. And yes, it is a little bit grungy and it does have some carbon buildup and so forth, but I've never ever opened up this motor. And you can see the walls of the cylinder there. They're pretty darn good. I mean, a little bit of wear on the side there because that's the normal oscillation of the piston. You're going to get on two opposing sides, a little wear and tear as it goes up and down. That's just perfectly normal. And on the rest of it, you see your typical scratch marks, wear and tear going up and down, and a little crustiness at the top there. But in reality, really, really clean motor, considering how long I've owned it and been using it. Never had it apart, never decarbonized it, never used any of that kind of stuff. And that's one thing right there. If you have a motor, whether it's your car, lawnmower, tractor, whatever it is, you can decarbonize it, use carburetor cleaner or something like that. Some people say you can use water for doing that. I'm not going to advocate for any particular procedure. You pick whatever is good for you, but you can, clean out the carbon and so forth. And putting the inspection camera in there, as you see, all I had to do was remove the spark plug. I didn't need to take anything apart, and you can see actually the condition of everything in your motor very easily. Once I'm done, I'll put the spark plug back in, and I'll probably clean it up a little bit and do a little decarbonizing and so forth. But you can see right there, I'm almost at the opening, and you can see the valves right there. The intake is going to be the dirtiest one, and the exhaust is going to be the cleanest one because that's the hottest one of all. And in a moment, I'm going to switch to the side camera so you can see a little bit better. This is the front camera, and you can see I'm moving it from side to side and so forth. And I'm trying to be gentle so I don't cause anybody any motion sickness. So that's why you see I'm trying to move it back and forth as slowly as possible so that nobody gets motion sickness watching this video. But, if you're doing it for yourself, you do whatever you want to do. And there you see, pulled it out of the spark plug hole, easy peasy, not a problem. So now let's take a moment, and I'm going to put it back in, and I'm going to switch it over to the side view so you can see what that looks like. And here we go. I have it back in there now. This is the side view camera, and you see that it's actually pretty darn clear. Almost as good, if not the same, as the front view camera. There you see I have it shoved in there to where the piston is, and since it's looking sideways, I can get a much clearer view of the sidewall of the cylinder. And like I said, it still looks very nice, very good. I can continue using this lawnmower for many, many more years to come. Like I said, a little decarbonization every so often, probably not a bad idea. Keep your engine clean, keep it running longer. This stuff is costing a lot more these days, so the better you can keep it going, the longer it'll last you, the more money you can save. So that's a smart way to go. Now, in a moment, I'm going to move it up so you can see a little bit better view of the valves. And the valves right here, the spacing between the valves and the top of the motor above it is only about 1/8 of an inch. That's all the space there is. And you can see that I can see with great clarity, I can get this little camera in there, and having the side camera gives me another angle that I can see it much more clearly. And there's only about 1/8 of an inch of gap right there between the top and the valves themselves. It's not a lot of room. It may look like there's a lot, but there really is not at all. So that tells you how convenient these little cameras can be. All right, guys, there you have it, a review and demonstration of an easy to use and affordable Borescope inspection camera. This camera has a lot of improvements over the previous cameras that I've tested, making it much easier to maneuver and to view what I wanted to see. The camera is also very clear without any distortion when viewing your footage. A very convenient device to look inside really tight spaces without having to take anything apart. So if you've been looking for a good quality and affordable borescope, I think this is one you should look into. Check out the links below for all the information. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye for now.